Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2012, the album Dad AF. Rock on, gold dust woman. Alright, let's get right into this. So, I cannot believe that I am back in South Beach, Miami, Florida. We were getting ready to go to Ultra Music Festival, and I thought, why not film a little video? We went and we got some lunch, we got snacks for the room, we are having such a blast. It's a beautiful day in South Beach right now. I'm overlooking the pool, overlooking the beach. It's a little windy, but it's gorgeous, and my husband's behind me. He's getting ready to go to the festival. I'm filming this, and then we're on our way. My whole outfit is sitting right over here. I'm so excited. I put a little outfit of the day up on my Instagram story, so you can go check that out. But anyway, I was kind of just like reading some of the articles, seeing what was going on in the news today, and there is a break in the Wendy Williams story. So I wanted to get on here and I kind of wanted to talk about it. I read all the articles. To be honest with you, I'm just going to kind of like, listen, where's my coffee? My coffee is over here. Let me go grab my coffee. This is going to be a real relaxed Peter Monn video. We're just going to sit down. This is not serious. This is not professional. Okay, I am nobody's journalist. We're just sitting in the kitchen having some coffee and talking. So, I was reading these articles, and I'm just going to kind of give my 2 cents as I go through it, and I tell you guys, like, what is going down. But if you don't know, which you don't know is a lot, Wendy Williams is going through hell, gal. Okay, she just is. You know, it's super sad what's going on with her, and I don't think really probably anybody knows what's going on with Wendy Williams except Wendy Williams, and I don't even know that she knows what's going on, and there's just so much at this point, and people are wondering what's real, what's fake, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to read some of the articles that I found, but basically this is what happened. So, Wendy Williams took a hiatus from her talk show, The Wendy Williams Show, and Nick Cannon has taken over for her in in her absence. So she came out and she said that she had hurt her shoulder, and then she said she was suffering from Graves' disease, which is something that she's been suffering from in the past, and that she was dealing with all this, and this is why she was taking a hiatus from the show. But then she came back, and I've done like 2 videos about this now, and she said that in her past she had talked about this, I guess a lot in her past, really suffering from a crack cocaine addiction or a cocaine addiction, and so she goes in there and she talks about all this kind of stuff. So anyway, so now she's living in a sober living house. There are so many articles on this and what she came out and said. I'm going to go through and just read to you guys in a second the article from ETV that just like details every single second of it. But in new news, as of Sunday going into Monday, wait, did Wendy Williams' husband just father a child with someone else? And this is from Bravo TV, okay, you guys? Kevin Hunter, that's Wendy Williams' husband, alleged infidelity with a woman named Sharina Hudson has been going on for the better part of a decade. Now, this is what's interesting, okay? So many people have been alleging that Wendy Williams' husband's cheating on her and that he's been having this mistress. We have no idea the conditions of her relationship, even though she's come out and she said, you know, that she would leave over cheating in the past. And she's even addressed that and said that that was her, you know, that was her, what do you call it, deal breaker in her relationship. And she has been pretty honest about like not knowing what she would do if that happened, and if he was in love with her and she was in love with him, and if the woman was more successful. And I read this whole article and it was talking all about that in there. She had talked about this in her memoir, which apparently came out like 10 years ago. So it's interesting because this is something that Wendy Williams has been talking about for a while, you know. And the thing that's difficult about all this is that marriage is hard, and I talk about this in a lot of my videos. My husband and I have been in marriage counseling for 2 years. We swear by marriage counseling. You know, it has been just such a strong foundation for our relationship, and we both of us, you know, like just, we tell people all the time, go to marriage counseling, go to marriage counseling, go to marriage counseling. It'll just make your relationship so much better. So, you know, when you are having a marriage, let alone a relationship in the public eye, yes, I do have a new hat on. Thank you for noticing. I bought a new hat for vacation. So anyway, you know, when you're having a relationship or a marriage in the public eye, like on her level, I can't even imagine the nitpicking that goes on and all this kind of stuff, that it's just got to be like so difficult, you know, that like everything that you do, like it's crazy, you know, like that she would be under this total, you know, watchful eye, as would he. So, you know, and then it begs the question, Do we like feel that she owes us some kind of answer? Do we not feel like she owes us some kind of answer about this marriage or what's going on with her? And the reality is that currently she is living in a sober living house. She's just gotten off the heels of suffering from a very serious disease, and then to have to deal with this all, and you know, it's just a lot, right? And in the last video that I did about it, it was interesting because in the comment sections, there were so many comments about this alleged affair, and that there were pictures of him being taken currently of him with his, you know, alleged mistress, and her name is Sharina, I think, Sharina Hudson, and no, his name is Kevin Hunter, her name is Sharina Hudson, sorry. So anyway, there are pictures apparently of them together, but there are also pictures of Wendy Williams and her husband, like, going out recently, him going, you know, with her places from, from the halfway house that she's living in. Now, what's interesting about this is that on the show, Wendy Williams has been wearing her wedding ring, but off the show, she's not wearing her wedding ring, which is interesting because I did this Q&A on my Instagram story today, and somebody was like, why does your husband wear a ring and you don't? Because my husband always wears a ring, and we have an engagement ring and we have a band, and they're both from Tiffany's. And the thing is that, and I don't know, maybe this is Wendy Williams, but she looks pretty good. She looks like she's lost a lot of weight, but for me, people always refer to him as my fat sausage fingers. When people are being mean, they always say his fat sausage fingers. So anyway, but I do, and I've gained a lot of weight since we got married, and my rings don't fit. In fact, they're super, super painful. And I want to get them sized, but the thing is that we have like a wire mesh engagement ring from Tiffany's. If I get it sized, they said they can't size it back down smaller again. So who knows? Maybe that's why she's not wearing her wedding ring. Maybe it's just, you know, maybe she's swollen. Who knows? I don't know. So anyway, let's read this article. Kevin Hunter's alleged infidelity with a woman named Sharina Hudson has been going on for the better part of a decade. Wendy Williams and her husband, Kevin Hunter, have been plagued by rumors of his alleged infidelity with a woman named Sharina Hudson for the better part of a decade. And according to Page 6, Hudson gave birth on Monday at a hospital in Philadelphia. This is a crazy situation, an anonymous source told the publication. Okay, listen. You know when, like, you're growing up and you're like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a movie star. I want to be an anonymous source. That is my dream job. Like, I just want to be a source. You know, like, I say this all the time in my videos, but when you're reading, like, an article and it says, like, a Kardashian source. I want to be a Kardashian source so bad, okay? Anyway, this is a crazy situation, an anonymous source told the publication. Wendy is in a halfway house fighting for her sobriety while her husband is at the side of his mistress who is giving birth to a baby. Sharina went into labor on Sunday and is believed to have given birth on Sunday or in the early hours of Monday. One former colleague suggested Monday that Hudson had been connected to Hunter for at least a decade. That's the reason why I don't deal with the Hunters anymore. The Breakfast Club radio host, Charlamagne the God, who worked in and he's getting a lot, like, he's come out and talked a lot about this, and so he's getting a lot of, like, acclaim off of this. Like, people are looking to him as, like, a viable source. Okay, that's why I don't deal with the Hunters anymore. The Breakfast Club radio personality, Charlamagne the God, who worked and appeared on Williams' former radio show in the early aughts set of Hudson, who he introduced to Hunter. Okay, so apparently Charlamagne the God is the one who introduced the husband to the Sharina. Okay, that was real nice. The reason that I don't deal with Kevin and Wendy anymore is because Kevin thought I was trying to hook Sharina up with a friend. Well, if you introduced him to Sharina and now they're having a baby together, yeah, it kind of sounds that way, okay? So anyway, after an almost 3-month absence from her talk show, Williams revealed on air last week that she is currently living in a sober house in the tri-state area with a bunch of smelly boys who become my family. They hog the TV and watch soccer. We talk and read, and then I get bored with them. Doors locked by 10 p.m., lights out by 10 p.m., so I go to my room and I stare at the ceiling and I fall asleep to wake up and come back here to see you, she said. So that is my truth. Either you're calling me crazy or the bravest woman you know. I don't care. And I like that about her, you know? That in the midst of all of this, and if you've watched my videos for a while, you know I've been sober since I was 22 and a half years old. I mean, she's doing the deal. And in my last video, I didn't talk so much about this because I hadn't found it, the exact quote that she wrote. But there's a whole quote on here about what she's doing. Hold on a second, I'm looking for it. While y'all want to just hear the whole article? Okay, let's just hear the whole article. It's very long, it's from ETV. The Wendy Williams drama keeps coming inside the rapid pileup of issues plaguing the talk show host. As someone who's been passing judgment on the issue of the rich and famous from the lofty perch of a daytime TV for over a decade, Wendy Williams knows just how heated the demand for answers can get. This time, it happens to be Williams who has everybody asking questions, which is interesting if you look at that from that point of view. Like, she's, you know, been the hard hitter for a long time, and now it's on her. The latest perfect storm of natural and man-made disasters is currently flurrying around the veteran talk show host and author who started 2019 on a first unexplained extended break from her syndicated show after closing out 2018 admittedly in pain and nowhere near the top of her game, which when she's on it makes her appointment viewing for anyone craving hot takes on the most pressing celebrity storylines of the day. She just got nominated for another Emmy, it said on here too. I sincerely apologize if you feel that today's show was less than stellar. She goes, as reported last week, her post continued, I have a hairline fracture on my upper arm, which hurts like hell. And then she goes in and talks about Graves' disease and that she's taking time off. She mentioned her ongoing battle with thyroid condition and thanked her fans for the support as well. I promise you a better Wendy in 2019. I will get some much needed rest and healing over these next couple of weeks. Sorry again. I love you all. Happy holidays. But she missed her scheduled January 7 return date, and then her January 21st return date passed by as well. And this is when she supposedly entered the sobriety house, and people are speculating what that was about and why, like, all of these things kind of merged together. And it is interesting, you know, that when you look at all of this, that it's like, okay, all this craziness happened, and then the sobriety house right on the heels of that, and then the situation with her husband. And so who knows what's really going on and where the truth lies. And it doesn't really matter. And how much, I kind of wish she'd just say, you know what, this is my personal life, stay out of it. But the problem is, when she makes a living, and hey, listen, as a drama channel, I've learned this as well. When you make a living of that, you can't say that, right? Because then people are like, well, so I get it, you know, and she does feel like she owes people things. And she came out with some statement in 2017 where she believed about so much of authenticity and stuff like that. New episodes of The Wendy Williams Show were set to begin on January 28th and guest hosts, and they eventually began with Nick Cannon as the first of a few fill-ins on February 4th. And then, so then later it says that they wanted to keep him. So she missed her start date in January. In September 2017, she acknowledged that she had become the hot topic in light of a Daily Mail investigation into her husband and business partner Kevin Hunter's alleged double life, which involved living part-time with another woman. 1 + 1 does not equal 3. This woman is a friend of Mr. Hunter, but there is no there, a rep for Williams told E! News at the time. Now, this is what's so interesting is when you look at this whole situation, and honestly, like, I had read some articles, but I didn't know as much as, like, so many of you commented out there. Apparently, this is, like, just a given story. Like, people just know that he has had an affair. So if at that point, like, if he really is living back and forth, you would think that there would have to be some kind of understanding between he and Wendy. I mean, there's no way that that's the case and she's just completely oblivious to it. I mean, we can grant Wendy Williams a lot of things, but let's just be for real. She's not a stupid woman, okay? She's very, very smart and she sees through things. And if that's the case, I mean, you think Wendy Williams is sitting at home on like a Thursday night and she's like, okay, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, where's my husband? I mean, I've seen a few Wendy Williams shows, how you doing, to know, okay, that she would be on the phone tracking down the receipts. The receipts. I'm just saying, okay? She would. So there's no way that this whole situation happened unless Wendy Williams knew about it. Which, if that's the case, fine. And maybe she doesn't owe us an explanation. So all these people coming out and saying that this has been going on for years and years, maybe it is. Maybe it's the arrangement they have. Who knows? But then why is she putting out a different message is interesting to me, okay? I stand by my guy Williams said on her show, flashing her diamond ring. We commuted this morning. The paparazzi was outside, catching me in the cutest negligee. All is well in Hunterville. Don't believe the hype. And if there was hype, believe me you, I would let you know. Wendy Williams and Hunter, her second husband, have been married since 1997 and are parents to 19-year-old. Okay. Hunter is also now reportedly a father to daughter with girlfriend Trina Hudson, according to Page Six and Lovey Scott, which revealed Williams had sent a cease and desist letter in response to a report that Hunter may have gotten Hudson pregnant. So now what they're saying is legally she's like put a cease and desist out because she's not going to respond to this issue at all. E! News could not independently confirm that the baby is Hunter's. Hudson was discharged from a Philadelphia hospital on Sunday. There can be negativity out there, and she hears the things about people talking about her family unit. Cannon also said last month, and what's going on, and she was like, you know what? We don't want to bring that negative energy when we're trying to heal, and I get that. I mean, you know, when you're trying to heal, you just, like, maybe that's not where you want your focus to be. Okay, but what's really going on? Really, they say. Williams didn't return to her post until this month, leaving plenty of time for the is she ever coming back hysteria to settle in. In fact, after just after days of candid hand... In fact, after just a few days of Cannon handily filling in, DailyMail.com reported that show staffers were clamoring for a hosting Shake Up, and they felt that Cannon would fit in just fine, but he said he's not going to do that. Okay, meanwhile, this is all about, they want Nick Cannon to replace Wendy Williams. What do you guys think about that? You think Nick Cannon should replace Wendy Williams on the Wendy Williams show? Have we lost our minds? Like, seriously? Like, what's he gonna, is it gonna be the Nick Cannon show or the Wendy Williams show? I mean, so anyway. He's probably learned a few things from Mariah, though, don't you think? Okay. On the paperwork side, the Wendy Williams show is renewed through the 2019-2020 season, and Williams herself has a contract with Lionsgate that lasts until 2022. So, I mean, even if they get somebody else, she's getting paid. Also last week, she received her 4th Daytime Emmy nomination for Outstanding Entertainment Talk Show Host. Good for you, Wendy. Wendy told Fortune in 2017, I think authenticity is the name of the game, and she didn't have time to worry about being likable. On the Howard Stern show that July, she said, talking about making her show's world go round, the sauce is in supportive staff, my staff. They can call me anytime they want, but I also have another life, and that other life keeps her sane. I take a nap, I take care of our son. She goes on and on and on. Okay, so then it goes in here and talks about her with her sobriety, and then she goes and talks. I mean, this is like an extensive article, y'all. So Hunter and Williams have complicated, if extraordinary, devoted history, and that their volatility as a couple has extended to the set of her show, in which Hunter, who's also his wife's manager and partner in Wendy Williams Productions, served as executive producer. She caught him cheating when their son was about a month old, as she detailed in her 2001 memoir, Wendy's Got the Heat. She overheard a phone conversation between him and another woman while her parents were staying with them to help out with the baby. Williams chose to forgive him, in and insisted on Vlad TV in 2013 that his infidelity and her subsequent forgiveness has made our marriage, and I know this is cliche, but it's true, it's made our marriage stronger. And I believe that can be true. I really do. No, I'm not back to the girl I was before him, because when you get strung like that, you never go back to who you were. Only a fool does. She acknowledged that a younger version of herself would have never entertained the notion of taking a cheater back, but I did, and I don't regret it. I do think it's a double standard with cheating. I think that you men are just sometimes so Neanderthal that you could never put up with your woman cheating, a man putting paws in your meat, but women have got to deal with the fact, many of us do, that at some point in our lives. And that's interesting. And right underneath here is a picture of Shane Dawson, and it says photos, YouTube's biggest scandals. What is a scandal with Shane Dawson? Am I at least so nice? Okay. No, we know there's some scandals. Some scandals recently. Okay. And so Williams surprisingly concluded on that first show back. Anybody who's been married for 5 minutes or 500 years, you know marriages have ebbs and flows. Marriages are not easy. Don't ask me about mine until you see this ring gone, and it ain't going anywhere, not in this lifetime. And then people are saying now she's not wearing her ring. Is it saying on here? Well, that bling is always on her finger when the cameras are rolling, but perhaps she didn't plan on photographer snapping her heading into work on March 25th with a bare left hand, okay? For once, shame on her. That ring was back on when she spotted meeting Hunter in New York City after her plot. They are coming for old Wendy, my lord! But while she persists in putting up a strong front with Hunter, Williams has been opening up about other struggles with her audience. She talked about living in a sober living house. Now, when you come to see me, when you see me come to work, I glammed up. Right after the show, I go across the street. I do my Pilates. I told you 2 hours a day. Or like take care of my body, and you know I've had struggle with my cocaine in the past, and I never went to a place to get treatment. Okay, that she says she 3 gram a day cocaine habit, so not crack cocaine, just it says cocaine in here. Heavily sniffing and smoking. Oh well, smoking could refer to crack cocaine. Wait, it doesn't matter, you know. When she first met her husband, so she wrote about that. Okay, a day in the life goes something like this. After I go to the Pilates, I go to several meetings all around town in the tri-state area. And I see my brothers and sisters. Hey, sister, how are you? And I don't mean that from James Charles. I mean that because people in recovery, we're family. And I see my brothers and sisters caught up in their addiction and looking for help. They don't know I'm Wendy. They don't care I'm Wendy. And that's the anonymity part of it. There's no autographs. There's no nothing. It's the brothers and sisters caught up in the struggle. It's been really interesting, this ride. And she says her husband and son were the only people in her inner circle who had known until that moment, she said. And then she goes in and she talks about all this kind of stuff. And then supposedly on the heels of all of this, Wendy Williams trying to better her life, supposedly the Sharina Hudson comes out and has her husband's baby. And I don't know. Nobody has said anything about if this is true, if there's not any truth to this. I just looked on here before I filmed this video, so I guess we will be finding out in the next couple days. I find it really hard to believe that if she really truly did have a baby with Wendy Williams' husband, that at some point she won't come out and say, this is his child. But it also makes you wonder if there was some kind of arrangement or something. Somebody is ringing our doorbell. Hold on! Seriously! But it makes you wonder if there was some kind of arrangement, like if that arrangement also included like no children, Family Feud. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.